Hey y'all, and welcome to Shade and the City. I'm your girl Trace, of course, and we are here to get into none other than Beyond the Gates. This is season 1, episode 60. So this was Tuesday's episode, okay? So yeah, y'all, I probably don't have much to give you because it was kind of I don't want to call it a filler. It still had some important parts, but I didn't think it had any I don't know. Y'all let me know. I only got 4 pages of notes. Usually it'd be like 5, 6, sometimes it get like 7 and 8. But yeah, y'all. So I appreciate you being here, all of my BTG Shade Squad. If you guys have not already, please make sure that you hit the like button for me. And y'all make sure that y'all go ahead if you haven't already, because it's a whole vibe over here. So if you're liking it, go ahead and subscribe. Okay. And all my members, we are back on schedule, 9 o'clock Thursday, and we're gonna talk all things BTG, okay? And I'll get past all this. Okay. So yeah, y'all, let's get into it and let's get shady. Okay. All right, y'all. So we know. So first of all, let me say, if you guys are on the Blue Sky, for all of you who are not following us on the Blue Sky, it's Shade in the City, just like it's down there scrolling across the screen at the bottom. Let me tell you something, okay? We was all mad on Monday. I don't know how y'all felt. Maybe y'all felt like because it's a holiday, y'all could have took a break from Beyond the Gates, but I was a little upset because I said, well, at least I ain't got to try to act like I'm working while I'm watching this on one screen. You know what I'm saying? And then I see old Ted up on my screen. And for some of y'all might like that because y'all really in y'all feels and y'all can't let go. You can't forget Ted is not here anymore. Let it go, y'all. He's not. It's a new guy, all right? But yeah, y'all. So I was a little disappointed, but anyway, so let's get into this episode. Chelsea is talking to Kat about the purse line, and she wants to, work with some art actress, Lucinda or something like that. That I guess maybe she's dealt with her before, and I guess they're having some upcoming awards show. So maybe she wants to give her a bag. Is my understanding. So that she can, sport it and promote their line. So then she gets in basically how gets into how Allison played her to the left the other day, right? And so Chelsea says, well, she was really hurt by it. She tells Kat that she shared the news with her mom and her grands, and they were very accepting, which she wasn't too surprised because obviously her grandparents were very accepting of Martin when he decided to, come out. Kat asks how Bill reacted, and Chelsea does admit that she didn't really talk to him, but she knows that she needs to. And so Kat tells her how proud she is for, just putting herself out there and, just keep looking for your match. Keep looking for your person. Don't stop. Get it, get it. Okay. So Kat tells her about how Tomas, they're going through a rift right now, which I was really surprised because I thought last time we left them off, they were good. Is anybody else? Was I the only one? Because I feel like a couple people on Blue Sky said the same thing. I feel like last time we saw them, they were in a decent place. So for them to now be at odds and her feel like, he's trying to force Eva on her, which I do kind of feel he is a little bit, but it is what it is. So Chelsea tells her that, you know what? I feel like Chelsea was like, I feel the same way. He's a little too new to the situation to be adding anything. And I was like, thank you, Chelsea. However, Chelsea tells her that, but hey, what he's saying is true. And so the way Kat's neck snapped, like, what did you say? And Chelsea says, look, Eva's your half sister, all right? And that's my cousin. So Kat is like, you just met her. And it's through what? What? I know Kat was done because I was done with Kat. And said, look, if you want to be added to the unalive to me list, you can be because you know what? There's openings. I'm accepting applications if that's what you want to do. And you could tell Chelsea was like, I don't want no problems. I don't want no problems. Okay. So she tries to reason and says, look, well, Eva is my cousin too. And Kat is like, girl, if you don't get out of my face with that. And then Kat has to go and down memory lane for her and remind her of all the things that her and Pick Six have done to her and her family. And so Chelsea was like, look, I understand how you feel, but your dad is clearly doing what he's supposed to do. He's stepping up as a dad, and he's working on establishing a relationship with Eva. So whether you like it or not, Eva is here to stay. And that's when we see Tomas. He walks up and, is trying to talk to Kat. And so Chelsea leaves and, gives her love. But she Kat don't really see it for her right now. And I said, yeah, we'll see how you feel, Chelsea, when you get a sibling. Okay. So Tomas, when we see him before he does all this stuff down at Uptown, he runs into Bill and Haley in the lobby of the country club. And Bill wants him to spill the tea about, what all the ladies are saying in the committee. And so Tomas seems a little hesitant because Haley's standing there and Bill's like, oh, don't worry about it because she know everything. She don't like it, but she know everything. Haley's like, well, why would you tell him that I disapprove? And Bill said, because sometimes he needs to know who's boss. That that's my name on the door. But he's saying this right in front of Tomas, mind you. And so he's like, Tomas is like, look, I'll do whatever you need me to do. And so he's like, all right, you're really on your way to partner. I see you. You see me. We see each other. And I said, oh, that Bill is so manipulative. And we move on. Haley starts complaining about having to attend all these galas and go places where basically she's not wanted. Let's just keep it 100. And she tells Bill that she's tired of sharing Bill with the rest of the world, his job, his daughters, and the second wife always gets the end of the stick. And I'm just like, no, I think it's the mistress that gets the. I'm stop. I'm not gonna do 4-H today. I ain't got it to do with the 4-H's today. Okay. All right, let me calm down because it's worse coming. Okay. So so he offers, he's like, well, you seem like you need a glass of wine. That's what my man do to me. He'd be like, you seem like you need a glass of wine. You a little wound up. So she then tells him that she can't drink because apparently they're supposed to be having a baby. Confetti for Bill and Haley. And I said this on Blue Sky. Haley ain't been pregnant she won't even pregnant for 5 seconds. And I was so tired of hearing about it. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but I was really over it. I was just done. So if this seems very short and I didn't get into the nitty gritty, it's because I did not care. I'm sorry. I might be able to come to grips with Eva. I'm like Kat. I'm still not there with Haley. I'm not. Okay. She's the root of all this. Okay. I'm just saying. So of course Bill is like, we having a what? We doing what? And he then gets excited after, she like doesn't like his reaction. I don't know what y'all think, but I still don't think Bill want no baby at his old age. That's just my opinion. And so Chelsea walks in and obviously she overhears. So she hopes that what she heard was just a joke. And Bill tells her, nah, it's true. And she tells Haley, well, you know what? She was shunned before, but now you and that baby going to be ostracized for life. And so Haley was like, and I literally live skied this. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give Chelsea credit because nobody wants to slap a pregnant woman. Right? But here we go. So then Haley says, well, oh, so you, little Chelsea, so you thought that I was just like a fling and like me and your dad and I was just gonna go back and he was just gonna go back to your mom and I wasn't like for real. Is that what you thought? I'm gonna be quiet. All I'm gonna say is, Chelsea, I see you, and you better than me, and that's all I'm gonna say. Okay. So then Anita she's going back and forth at Tracy at this point. And so she tells her, like, she comes back in, she's like, oh, I delayed dinner a little bit. Do you need a drink? And so Tracy wants to finish. No, I want to finish the discussion is what Tracy wants to do. She wants to get down on it. Okay. So Anita said, you know what? Look, I know you want to rehash all this, but I can't change the past. I can't make myself be a better person back then. And I was kind of here for what Anita was saying. Here I am now. I'm telling you, I realized I did some things wrong. What do you want me to do exactly? I can't go back in the past and recreate it. I was so here for Anita. But y'all let me know what you think, because that's just what y'all do in the comments. Okay. So then she said that, oh, and shout out to my baby girl, Princess Diamond Cut. Look, I say my baby girl, she might be older than me. I don't even know how old that girl is. But that's my boo. Shout out to Princess Diamond Cut, because she was absolutely the one that named Pick Six. And I don't know if I gave her proper things or her proper shout out yet, but she absolutely named Pick Six. And so I want to give her things. Okay. So back to task. I'm sorry. So basically, she said Tracy tells her that so Anita tells her that all she can do is own her ambition and what she sacrificed to get to her goals. And Tracy questions, well, what sacrifices? And tells her that she left the group and went out to be successful on her own, married Vernon, had the kids, and she was moving on to the east side. Okay, I'm not going, but y'all know where I was going with this. Okay, so Anita's like, look, respectfully, you don't know what I had to overcome. And so Vernon comes home ready to celebrate. He got some chocolate pie. This is how you know. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like this is such a down south thing. I have never known any other like geographic in the United States that eat chocolate pie besides down south. Correct me if I'm wrong. If y'all from different parts and y'all know, or that's something familiar to y'all, but that was definitely a thing for us in North Carolina was, oh, chocolate pie and Thanksgiving. Don't nobody make it no more because God, it's just pure chocolate and we know better, right? But I remember them chocolate pies, boy. I ain't even gonna hold you. I think I'd take one right about now. But so basically Vernon walks in and he realized that the tension is super thick. So he asked, well, what can I do to help break this tension, ladies? And so Vernon tells Tracy that, look, I don't know what happened, but I know that Anita really missed you. And I know that at one point y'all really loved each other. And so Tracy said that, Tracy said they made all the sacrifices, and she accuses Anita of making things seem pretty to basically avoid her truth. So finally, I love when Anita said, look, time out. She finally gets tired of defending herself, and she's like, thank you so much for coming, Tracy. But you know what? It's time for you to go. Okay? I'll pay your way back home. I said, look how nice that is. Going good, Anita. Look at you. That's decorum. That's decorum. I like that. And said, look, you gotta go. Okay. I clearly the idea of the reunion was a mistake. And so Tracy tells her, oh, so you the same Anita. You so wrapped up. She said, you're the same Anita wrapped up in expensive trimmings. And so Anita said, look, I apologize for this being a waste of your time. And Tracy says, well, it wasn't a waste of my time if what Vernon said was true. And she admits that she misses Anita's ass too. And I said, well, what are we really doing here, ladies? Okay. And then she remembers that, look, at one point we were family. And she says that I'm not sorry that I came. And you let me put pressure on you. You let me put my foot on your neck. So yeah, I'm not sorry that I came. I got to get a little out, Clearly, maybe she not in therapy, so she got to get it out. I hear her. And Anita's like, no, we did need to talk. And so Tracy tells her that they haven't even scratched the surface. I said, see, this is what I'm talking about. I don't know if anybody else saw this, like every time, because I was getting a little frustrated with how Anita was letting this woman, I'm sure we've talked about it in the comments, but I was really frustrated with the way Anita was letting this woman address her in her home. And can we talk about why the Duprees just let random people come in their house and say whatever they want to them? And I'm just so confused. But anyway, I was a little annoyed with Anita. And so I was finally happy to see her put her foot down and be like, you know what? We ain't got to have dinner. We ain't even got, you can go. I know you don't want to believe, but you got to go right now. Okay. And but nah, and so every time it seemed like they got to a place where it was like, oh, we're making up, we're resolving things. Tracy could always have something else smart to say. I don't know. I don't trust Tracy. She's untrustworthy Tracy to me. That's what I'm about to call it. Tricky Tracy. Y'all help me name this heifer, but it's something about Tracy. Okay. I don't like it. I don't like it. Anita tells her, well, you know what? If you're not interested in the reunion concert, then I know Sharon won't be. And so Tracy was like, is that how you reign supreme in Fairmont Crest? And she was like, I said one thing about the past, and now you think I don't want to do the concert. Yeah, because that's how you acting, you weirdo. Oh my God. You know what? Maybe I will be fully wrong. And y'all know I am not ashamed to humble myself, take accountability, and come up here and say if I was wrong about something, or if we find out that Anita did some real foul, crazy stuff, I will come up here and say it. But right now, Tricky Tracy, I need her to stop. It's she's doing a lot. Okay. Um, and so Tracy said that she really wanted to talk and get down to the nitty-gritty, but thinks that Anita might be scared of being haunted. So she asked her, like, oh, so in you doing this, you're not scared about opening certain doors? And Anita tells her, I don't let fear dictate my life. That's not how I move. And she said, I knew what I was doing when I picked up the phone. And so Tracy tells her, well, I'm not the problem. If you're able to convince Sharon to do the reunion, then I'm on board. And so she's like, well, do you think, so Anita's like, well, do you think you convince Sharon? And Tracy's like, no, no, no. Do you think you can convince Sharon? And so again, Anita apologizes for hurting Tracy and Sharon. She blames it on Dante Green, convincing her that, she could do it all alone. And the timing was impeccable because she just wanted out of the group anyway, is what it sounded like. And she admits that she didn't think about how it would affect them. And she apologizes again for hurting her and tells her how sorry she is. And said that, hopefully this is our second chance to do it right this time. And so Tracy's like, yeah, and it would be foolish to let this second chance go. And so Tracy agrees that, you know what, I'm in. And so she was like, well, did you at least try to call Sharon? And she was like, yeah, she ain't answer the phone. She ain't answer the phone. And so Tracy offers to be the peacemaker between the ladies. And I was like, well, oh, isn't that sweet? After you had your foot on her neck for about a good half an hour. So Jessica comes by. This is very small, y'all, because first of all, I'm not even gonna hold you. I think that they're both beautiful girls, but I think I've said this before to y'all. It really kind of weirds me out that Jessica looks so much like damn Samantha. Like, to the point I really do feel like that. I would not be surprised. And I'm sure y'all can tell me, because y'all be in the soap digest and y'all be reading and stuff like that. But I would not be surprised if Jessica and Samantha, like in real life, are related. To me, they just look too much alike. It's really weird. And so the fact Tyrell is dating someone that, or wants to date someone, or is even interested in someone that looks just like damn Jessica or Samantha. Look, I can't. You see, that's a problem, y'all. That's a problem. Okay. We're going to have to make up nicknames for them. Anyway. So Jessica comes by the Smarty Kid's house, and she's telling Samantha how much she likes Tyrell. And Jessica wants to make sure that, he likes her too. So Samantha tells her that, look, you should go for it. And don't be waiting for Tyrell to make the first move, because that ain't what he do. So Tyrell comes down so they can study together, and then they end up having a cute, nerdy kid kiss. And Samantha walks in clutching her pearls. Well, she ain't really have pearls on, but shocked, right? All right, so let's move over to I think where we at Offrey Jeans, and we see, or we might have been at Uptown. I honestly don't remember. No, it was Offrey Jeans. So Smitty finally gets Martin alone so they can talk. And he, but basically now he don't know what to say. So Martin's like, well, what the hell am I here for? So Martin questions, well, what happened to us? Didn't we almost have it all? Like, that's what it was given. Like, what do you mean what happened to us? Okay. So Smitty says the kids changed their dynamic. And Martin wants to know the one thing that he's dying to tell him. And so he tells Martin that, look, I love you. And, I wish that I made you as happy, or I wish I made you as happy as you make me. I said, oh, poor Smitty. So then he brings up Bill. And so Martin was like, well, why would you say some real sweet shit like that and then bring up Bill? That just don't even go well together. And so then Martin starts to get nervous, and because he's, Smitty has this way of walking you down the road, but taking you the long way, if you know what I'm saying. Like I can be sometimes. He a little long-winded. So, and look, it's so terrible, but I do it too. Martin gets all nervous, and Smitty reveals that Bill summoned him over to the house, and it sounded like he knew something dangerous about Martin, and it had him a little bit concerned. And he mentions that, you know, Bill said it was important. He mentions that Bill said it was important that him and Martin were on the same team, and Martin acts like he don't know what Smitty is talking about, and so Smitty questions whether he's like, well, does Bill know something that I don't? And so Martin tells him, how did the hottest reporter in Fairmont Crest get played by Bill Hamilton? And I said, it's yum from it if it's wet yet. He just flipped it and reversed it. I ain't even gonna hold you. The way Martin did that, I said, oh. That's why he's a politician, clearly. Okay. Makes it so then Martin makes it seem like Bill really wants to use Smitty, not him. And tells him that he's valuable because he's now, a reporter again. And Martin even tells him, go back and ask Danny. This is what Bill do. He's just a grimy dude. And so Smitty admits, well, I was just jealous that I thought someone knew you better than I did. And then, of course, we see Martin do what he does best and gaslight Smitty and tells him that no one knows him better than he does. And then he has to conveniently leave for a work call, as he always has to do conveniently. Okay. Now, we see Tomas. He comes to sit down and talk to Kat, and Kat tells him that, they're struggling because he continues to try to make her accept Eva. And she hates that he won't see things from her perspective. And so Tomas says that he feels like he knows so much about her. So he feels like he's entitled to, give his opinions. And Kat asks, well, am I allowed to do the same? And Tomas says, well, you should probably get to know me first, because right now that's not happening. And I said, ooh. And even though I gotta call a thing a thing, y'all know I am a team Kat. I do not like Tomas, but let's call a thing a thing. Kat didn't know nothing about that boy. And that was proven this scene. She has spent most of her time talking about Eva. She don't know nothing about this man. I don't want to say it makes her self-absorbed, because really she was more concerned with somebody else other than herself. But I gotta give him his things. You can't call me your boyfriend when you don't even know where I'm from or what I like to do, or And I will say, I know some of y'all have been in the comments saying that maybe he is a better match for Eva. And when I watch this scene, although I don't want my girl to get her heart broken, looking at the stories that they shared and commonalities, I do think Tomas might be a better fit for Eva. But what I do think is that he's going to continue to pursue Kat and use her because he wants to come up. I said what I said. If you disagree, we can tussle in the comments, okay? So basically, so she learns she don't know nothing about him, and she go through his social media. He ain't got nothing on there either. So then we learn that he's into fantasy romance. He hikes, he salsa dances, all the stuff that she should have been known by now. And then we also learn that he's a part of the Big Brother program, and he said that those kids that, need positive figures in their life, he sees that in Eva and understands, kind of understands where she comes from. And Kat explains that, can I just say, I got to light a torch. I wish I had a lighter right now, okay? Because Kat says, look, okay, I know y'all thinking I'm being harsh and whatever, and I'm spoiled. She's like, but look, people have tried to use me just because of who my family is. And we know that. We're not stupid, right? And so she said, that's why I tend to take things slow. And she tells him, I will never trust Eva. And I don't think I will ever like her. And I think it's too much for y'all to ask me to change overnight. I said, I'm so happy the writers finally wrote that in. What I've been yelling literally at the TV today. If y'all go look at the live sky, I literally was saying the same thing. So shout out to y'all for being realistic. No, you can't force that on that girl. And I don't care. I love y'all in the comments. And again, we family over here. But that is absolutely crazy based on the timeline that we've seen, which is what, we're maybe 5 days from this, or a week maybe, from this detrimental fallout of an anniversary party. And you think she gonna go skipping in the woods with her half twin sister or whatever she's supposed to be? No. Oh, it's too much too soon. I'm sorry. Ask Jesus for forgiveness, not me. She said that she's entitled to not trust Eva, and she should be able to react to her untrustworthiness without being made out to be a bad person. She promises to be more curious when it comes to him. And Tomas tells her, look, I don't care about you liking Eva. I just want you to like me. And I said, for once, Tomas said something. Because I think I just told y'all that, yeah, that girl won't pay him no attention for real. And so really the last scene, we see Anita. She's telling Vernon that Tracy is going to get back on the flight. I guess she's on her way to maybe try to talk to Sharon. And so Vernon wonders why she isn't happier. And Anita admits that she was caught up in, the flashing lights, and tells Vernon that he didn't really know her back in the day. And she wasn't all sweet and, what she is now. She admits she was a little ruthless. She was a little ruthless and a little selfish. And so she said that she wanted to erase that, but she can't because, of the people that she hurt in the process. And so Vernon tells her that he knew her, and he lets Anita know that you were young and you were manipulated by this Dante Green. So I wonder if we're going to get to see him. And but he tells her that she is a whole different person now, and he promised her that it'll all work out because it is written. And I said, you better, Vernon, you better. Amen. That's the only thing you can say out of that. Amen. Okay. So yeah, that was this recap of Beyond the Gates. I just wanted to give a big shout out. I believe it's HU. Okay, HU Angel. I wanted to give a big shout out to you because she actually let us know in the comments that Caprini Green is actually in Chicago. And I don't know why, when we first started with learning about Anita and her career, I don't know why I thought maybe she came up from Philly or something like that, or, Baltimore or something, but I didn't think she was from Chicago. So shout out for that little nugget and keeping us hip. So now it all makes sense. And then I love when you said that Leslie, or Pick Six, went back home. She said she went back home to Chicago to give birth to Eva. So I like how you connected those dots, HU Angel. Thank you so much for dropping in the comments. If you guys have not already, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure that you guys comment, because that's what y'all gonna do. Okay. Make sure that you guys have subscribed as well, and make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure that you're following us on all the platforms. Like I said, y'all, I be on my Blue Sky, and I've been on it. Okay. The TikTok, the IG, and the Facebook. And yeah, y'all, I will catch you tomorrow for another recap. And do not forget about Thursday's live, because I am anxious. Elaine, Princess Diamond Cut, Rebecca, Mimi, I hope you join us this week. Look, I'm just yelling out members' names, Jay Rucker. But yeah, I hope to see y'all in the chat on Thursday night so we can get into everything that is beyond the gates. But anyway, y'all have a good night. Be safe. Bye-bye. Happy hump day.